Eric Trump has never really been known to be the smart one, and he seemed to issue even more threats on Fox News, showing up there yesterday, just after Charlie Kirk's death. And he says that they have awoken that sleeping enemy, which is yet another one of these very thinly veiled threats. Take a listen.
They were being taught revisionist history in the classrooms. And honestly, it all changed. And honestly, that it all has Charlie's DNA in it. So we're going to miss a great friend, but they have definitely awoken that sleeping enemy.
Eric, thank you. Condolences to you and friends.
Now, Eric can't just stop there. He takes Charlie Kirk's death and says, they've awoken a sleeping enemy. This is the MAGA script. Tragedy as proof of righteousness, victimhood as justification for escalation. By making themselves, the Trump family, the MAGA movement, the victims, they justify escalating, which is sadly something that a lot of authoritarians do. And you wouldn't necessarily have assumed that the killing of Charlie Kirk would become a catalyst for an even bigger escalation of authoritarianism. Maybe you would have assumed that, but that is ultimately what it has become. They rail against the snowflakes, they rail against victim culture, but they are addicted to it. They say this grievance culture on the left is bad. They are pushing the grievance culture because every single event, no matter how tragic, simply becomes an excuse to say we're the martyrs, we're the victims, we are under siege, and therefore retribution is justified. And my fear is that the MAGA people that rioted on January 6th are listening and that they are going to take action. And so when Eric Trump says they've awoken a sleeping enemy, these are threats, plain and simple. We have to think about them that way. This is the coded language that MAGA falls back on. Paint themselves as peaceful until supposedly someone pushes them too far, and now they have to take action. Now it's, listen, the left pushed it, now we've got to take action. And so when Trump does his, we don't want violence, but if you don't stop us, who knows what might happen? It's the exact same sort of thing. And so this is a message meant to intimidate. It's meant to suggest that MAGA's enemies should be ready for a backlash without Eric Trump ever having to spell out what it is. It's similar to Trump's rhetoric on January 6, 2021 that led to the riots. And Eric Trump is back to tell this sort of, too perfect to be true anecdote type to suggest that everyone supports this idea. And in fact, he has one of these stories. It's these, with tears in my eyes, they said, sir. Eric says that on the way to the studio, an older Jamaican man said to him in broken English how sorry he is about Charlie Kirk. Take a listen.
And it kind of rings true here. That's exactly what you did. And literally, as I was showing up to the studio, Maria, there was an older Jamaican man who came up to me in very broken English and said, Mr. Trump, I'm very sorry about Charlie Kirk. He was an amazing Christian. I am Charlie Kirk, right?
Yeah, the guy was sobbing and he just said, sir, please, please do something about it. And then during the very same interview, Eric Trump back to these sorts of thinly veiled threats.
Everybody, I've had employees, Maria, call me and say, my children, my 17-year-old daughter has been in her room crying. It's changed her immensely. I mean, this is transcending not only the youth generation, but also the older generations. This is a hit on our country. It's a hit on our movement. It's a hit on, Christianity. It's a hit on religion. It's a hit on freedom. It's emphasizes the dichotomy between, good and evil in this country. And they truly have awoken that sleeping giant, just not within the youth vote, but really transcending everybody who's in this nation. It's had such a profound effect on this nation. And seeing Erica on there, she was so unbelievably articulate, so unbelievably strong. This could have been the greatest mistake these people have ever made.
And Eric, you have a new memoir.
This is very serious. I wish that I could come to you and say, there's no real concern here about escalating violence. I wish that I could say that to you, but I'd be lying. And I don't know exactly where the violence might come from. I don't know who would be the target of the violence, but this is shaping up to be extraordinarily scary. And I know some creators that are taking pretty drastic measures as a result. We'll talk about that more later or maybe tomorrow.